You go first. Just say you're Jen.
I'm Jen.
And I'm Jen. And this is Talk Dogs with Us.
That's real low energy.
I'm Jen.
Whoa, too much.
I'm Jen.
And I'm Jen. And this is Talk Dogs with Us.
Hell yeah.
Spooky transformations.
This one's going to be an Oops All Tips episode.
For techs and trainers.
Not the tips.
Just the tips. Just the tips.
So, Spooky Transformation is all about 3 ways you can up your behavior game as a tech or a trainer. I'll go first.
Excellent.
So breaking with our format of thinking about how to think about it, it's going to be a little bit kind of woven in, but I think the first thing is look at the why. Be curious about why something is happening with a dog you are working with. If you get called to a consult and you're looking at these problem behaviors, it will help you so much to work out the why. Not only will you be able to suss out the issue, you might be able to find hidden environmental factors that are paying for the behavior that the family didn't think about. For example, if you're at a home and they're worried about dog reactivity, if you just focus on the leash and the leash exercises, you might miss that dog sits every day and looks out the window and barks at every dog that goes by. Right? So once somebody says, oh, we're having all this leash reactivity problem, if you can go, okay, why? Well, this dog is afraid of other dogs because maybe they had a bad experience. Then you can start to go, what are the other areas where this dog experiences this fear? How can we tamp those down so that our work on the leash isn't done after a day of the dog policing the other dogs in the neighborhood from the window? So you're taking a stressed out dog outside to do stressed out leash reaction. So if you break down the why, you can sometimes better see where the how is going to help. I also think it's helpful to look for what is paying the behavior, right? As part of the why, what is causing this behavior to be maintained, right? Well, the dog has a lot of practice at that window barking, saying, hey, I barked at this dog and the dog went away, which we all know that dog was going to keep walking no matter what your client's dog did. But in the dog's mind, they said, I came to the window, I barked, the dog went away. Success, let's do it again tomorrow. And they lather, rinse, repeat there. So looking at the why and looking at what's paying the behavior can help you really suss it out. So that's my first tip.
That's a great tip.
My second is realize that counter conditioning is giving a reinforcer because a stimulus happened. When we were doing our cooperative care episode that will come out in a while, we were looking at videos of cooperative care techniques that were posted on YouTube. And so often I would see people say, I moved the scissors closer to the dog and the dog didn't growl, so therefore I'm going to get a treat. And that you're doing too much. You're doing too much.
That's not how it works.
That's that's not, please don't, please do it different. Please try something new. When the scissors come near the dog gets the reinforcer because the scissors came near. It's not that the dog had to participate in their counter conditioning. The counter conditioning happened because the stimulus happened. That will take your training, that will up your game so far, it's not even funny.
You'll be shooting for the moon.
And you'll get there. You're not even going to land on the stars. You're going to be front row, center stage on the moon. I hope there's a stage on the moon.
I mean,
The moon's in...
I know that something was staged on the moon, but
The stars are farther than the moon.
Heck. So if you do counter conditioning where you are changing the dog's condition to a stimulus, you don't have to worry about what the dog does. You don't have to worry about if the dog growls or barks, right? You don't have to worry about them missing a treat for that. And having one rep where the scissors came near the dog said back off and the scissors said okay, and The only learning that happened was I should tell the scissors to back off more often, right? If you do it small and controlled, where the scissors are going to raise up a little bit and you're going to get a cookie just for that, you will go so much farther. You will go so much farther.
Could you even do like get the dog approaching the scissors first and foremost, so the dog's got the say when you start?
You could, and the where that gets tricky is: are you reinforcing the dog approaching, or are the scissors existing,
Or are you luring the dog?
right?
I see.
That's where it gets a little
I
sticky.
see. Okay, so there's all those things, all differential.
Right. Because luring can be coercive, right? If I point a gun at you, but I hold $1,000 and I say, come get it, I'm luring you into the $1,000, but it's coercive because there's danger. It's a crazy example, but it helps you think about it, right?
Sure does.
That's you're thinking about how to think about it.
All right.
Think about it like that. So my last tip, my third tip, I'm made of tips. That's a crazy thing to say.
Tips everywhere.
Lousy with them, falling out of your pockets when you're walking down the street.
Out the wazoo.
Not just 2 tips, all tips.
Nope. Q-tips too. So my third tip is when you are training, what does the dog learn by what you have taught them? This is a question that I see so many people, and really, I'm just mad at online forums. I'm mad at silly questions in online forums. Please keep asking them. That's how you learn. But sometimes I'm just like, I just want to be like, hey, what do you want the dog to learn about this scenario? And how are you going to teach that to it? I feel like so often we do these rote things because, well, this is what I should do. This is what I'm supposed to do. When this, then that. And if you just took a second to go, what is the dog actually learning from me? What do I want the dog to learn to me? And how could I possibly get that message across? I think your training game will change.
Absolutely. I think it answers a lot of questions for a lot of people.
Yeah. And
Because
I think
some of the silly questions that you speak of are like, well, I have this X problem and I know that the answer is Y, but there's all these barriers. And really, if you just think about what you need the dog to learn from you or what you want the dog to learn from you, that you'll figure out the path.
And I absolutely think that like there are some things that I teach in the course of classes, in the course of we're teaching a dog something, that are just for owners. Mm-hmm. There's a technique that I teach in specific that I'm thinking of that I don't think it really teaches the dog much of anything useful, but I think it teaches the owner something very useful, so I keep it.
Yeah.
The more I think about it and the more I watch it happen, I don't actually watch the dogs learn and understand what they're like, what I want them to, but I see the people click. And
So sub-tip, think about what the owners are learning too.
correct. Yeah. If you think about what your owners are learning, right?
Yeah.
And I think like human education goes so far in this field. And I know that like you think about taking a job with animals to work with animals, but hey, guess what? Unfortunately, the species we've chosen to work with is owned,
Yeah.
right? You didn't pick spiders or bats. You picked dogs.
Yeah, that was in the conservation work.
Yeah. That's,
That
you know,
there's a lot of legislature there, as opposed to dog training where there's none.
right, where there's zero. But I think if you think about what do I need to get across to the animal, to the owner, to the family as a whole, what do we need to do here to get to where we need to go? So those are my 3 tips to spooky transformation into a better trainer.
All right, so Tex, I think my first tip is to think about how your patients are thinking about things. So let's say we have a dog that's hospitalized and you only enter the cage to draw blood, get vitals, and getting blood is, each time the dog is due for treatments or whatever. So you end up having to poke the dog or touch the dog in some way every time you go into the cage. Think about how that dog is perceiving that as, wow, now you've become a cue for something bad happening.
Yeah.
And think about, as you're passing the kennel, tossing a treat in if the dog can eat, if the dog will eat, or simply practicing sitting in there for 5 minutes and then leaving and not having done anything but
Yeah.
spend some time in there with the dog.
Kind of break that anticipatory anxiety.
Right. And there's a lot of ways that you can think about this, like in ER. You have a dog that is a large dog, but the doctor wants it on the table. This large dog has always been told not to stand on tables. They've never had the experience of standing on a table.
Yeah.
That's why they are inhibited and frozen when you put them up there.
Yeah. Because they're probably told to get off high surfaces pretty frequently.
Probably, if they've ever even tried to get on a high surface. Because some dogs don't even have the experience of being on any kind of unstable surface or surface higher than the ground.
Elmo hates getting lifted up.
Right.
Hates it.
He's a freezer.
Only in emergencies.
Well, he's not a freezer, but he does freeze.
Yeah.
He's going to be a
quite
freezer
hot,
for
actually.
Halloween.
Yeah, he's a space heater.
He's a toasty
Yeah,
little
actually,
guy.
he's a space heater, not a freezer.
Yeah.
My second tip is to stop touching your patients. Just don't do it unless you have to.
Could you imagine going to your doctor's appointment and being snuggled by the nurse? Can you imagine just
I can't. Imagine you're a teenager and you go to the doctor with your parent and the nurse who's taking your vitals grabs your arm and drags you around the whole office and is like, look at this cute teenager. Look at them. They're growing up, aren't they? Oh my God, look at their cute little teenage hair. Oh, let's take a selfie together.
Yuck. I hate every part of that.
No one wants that.
I would physically
And
pass
your
away.
patients don't either. So don't play past the puppy. If you want to interact with a puppy, go into the room, sit on the floor, and let the puppy interact with you. If you have a patient that is really anxious, you're holding them on the leash, don't sit there and pet them while you're standing, waiting for their owner to come back, waiting for a cage, waiting for a treatment to happen. There's just no reason that we need to pet them, because then when you go to draw blood, they've saturated. They can't take anymore.
Yeah.
There are caveats where sometimes you use gradient touch, but that's not petting. And sometimes we do use petting during like physical exams, but still,
It's brief and situational though, right?
and it doesn't prime the dog to actually learn. It teaches the dog that petting might be dangerous.
Yeah.
Because you're not actually petting, you're doing focused attention. And so when the dog perceives that that switch happens between petting and focused attention, you are at risk for a bite and you're at risk for the dog developing fear
Yeah. Yeah.
of body handling.
Yeah.
My third tip would be to prioritize your treatments. Make sure that you have the full list of treatments that need to be done in that time. Make sure that we know from the doctor which treatments are most important and which treatments we might be able to forego either for the time being or this visit or whatever, because not all dogs can handle taking the entire round of treatments all at one time or in one day.
Oh, so like going into the room with like a to-do list instead of coming in, drawing blood, leaving, coming in with vaccines, leaving, coming
Exactly.
in, doing a dental exam.
Let's say that there is a dog on ER and the dog ate a sock. So the dog comes in. We know that the dog's going to need medication to induce emesis or make it vomit. We know that then the dog's going to need to have a nausea injection of some sort to help reverse that, whatever made it vomit. And then we know that the dog might need further treatments depending on what it ate. So try and do the nausea injection with the sub-Q fluids if they're needed, with blood work if needed, with all those other things, so that we're not having to go in the room and touch the dog, then leave, then go in the room and touch the dog, then leave, or go in the cage and touch the dog, then leave.
Yeah, you're kind of doing it all at once.
All at once. And sometimes I ask the doctor, between these 3 injections, which are the most important for you? because I'm not sure that this dog will tolerate 3 injections.
Yeah.
So then I get the list from the doctor and I keep that in mind. And sometimes I will try and, like, I already have an order chosen in my mind based on, like, if the injection stings or how important I think it is. And so sometimes I'll try and compromise with the doctor. Let's say I'm trying not to give Cerenia first because that stings when we give it. So if I can give Cerenia middle or last, that would be most ideal for trying to make sure the dog doesn't saturate through more than 1 injection.
Yeah, because you don't want to give them something that stings and then try and give them something else because they're going to say, no.
Right. Then they've learned that your hand
Injection
hurts
sting,
them.
yeah.
Or injection sting or whatever they've learned. Yeah. So that's 3 tips for techs for spooky transformations.
Cool. All right. I think if you have tips of your own, send them on in. We'd love to hear them.
Yeah. Comment on the threads. Tell each other. We know Meeting of the Minds is where all of the cool shit happens.
All the best ideas
Hell yeah.
when we come together. Talk Dogs With Us is an informational podcast and not a substitute for qualified medical advice.
Are you a pet professional or parent looking to learn more and challenge your current assumption about our pets? Then let's go on this journey together at our website, talkdogswithus.com. Give us a bark at Facebook and Instagram at Talk Dogs With Us. You can help keep the conversation going by subscribing to our Patreon, patreon.com/talkdogswithus, or buy us a coffee at ko-fi.com/talkdogswithus. Art direction by Alex Oren, theme song and audio engineering by Stephen Rossblock. Check out more from him at stephenrossblock.com. Thanks for listening.